Minocqua Brewing Company's mix of beer and progressive politics made Madison a natural choice for its second location.
Our flagship beer is called the Resistance Ale.
The owner even started his own political super PAC, the Minocqua Brewing Super PAC, to push for liberal political causes.
Choose Reason Over Treason are the billboards that we made to help elect Tony Evers governor.
But former employees say the funds raised to help progressive causes are also being used to help pay employees.
I was hired as a manager to basically take care of the bar, take care of his tap room in Madison.
This former employee, who asked to have his identity hidden, thought it would be nice to work at a brewery with an owner who shared his values.
First, I was paid by a regular direct deposit, and then he said he's going to pay me from the super PAC and from the business. And I started to do some research. I spoke with a couple attorneys and an accountant, and they said that's kind of shady, not a good idea.
The employee showed News 3 Now a check paid from the Minocqua Brewing Super PAC. As you can see in the memo line of the check, it was meant for political organizing. He says he never did organizing or any work for the Super PAC. 2 other former employees confirmed his statements. The funds can also be seen in Super PAC disclosures. Bankstad does not dispute that some past employees, including the former bar manager we spoke with, were paid from the Super PAC.
Yeah, he was working for the Minocqua Brewing Company, and he punched in hourly to our square, kind of punch in, punch out, and he was working for the Minocqua Brewing Company Super PAC. He was being paid through 2 separate accounts.
Bankstad also told us the current bar manager is paid by the Super PAC. The Minocqua Brewing Super PAC has raised more than $2 million since its start. While that amount may seem large, it's just a drop in the Super PAC bucket in a state where Super PAC spent $49 million just on Wisconsin's last Supreme Court race.
A Super PAC is a political action committee that can raise and spend unlimited amounts of money because it is at least ostensibly independent from a candidate or a political party.
Dan Wiener is the director of the Elections and Government program at the Brennan Center for Justice and an expert on super PACs. He says political candidates have strict rules about personal spending with campaign funds.
That restriction at the federal level does not apply to super PACs. That's a loophole that we've never fixed. And so you do actually see at least some super PACs that essentially turn into scam PACs, where they're basically raising all this money from donors who think that they're contributing for purposes of, political advocacy, but then a lot of it gets funneled back into whoever is organizing the super PAC.
And a recent court case revealed Minocqua Brewing Super PAC has paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to 2 companies, Effervescent Blue and NCPS. News 3 Now's internet and business record searches found no details about these 2 companies other than an address to a post office box. Bankstad refused to answer if he is the owner or has an ownership stake in either company.
To answer that question is in my mind morally wrong, because the actual field around a super PAC has been set by Republicans, and if super PACs were deemed illegal tomorrow, I would hand over the keys, because I do think super PACs, because of Citizens United, are killing this country. I have a super PAC because you got to fight fire with fire.
Minocqua Brewing Super PAC claims 5% of the brewery's profits are donated to the PAC. But according to the Federal Elections Commission, the brewery has donated less than $10,000 to the PAC and went more than 3 years without donating anything.
So the, whatever you want to look at whatever you want to, count towards donations is how you want to measure it. We measure it in many ways, and we, like I said, report it all to the FEC.
The 3 former employees we spoke with heard about those other companies and questioned what the funds were being used for. They said they were hesitant to speak out due to fear of online retaliation from Bankstad, who has already paid more than $500,000 in a previous online defamation suit.
And then I saw a post online where someone had insulted his beers, and he took that person's family and put them in one of his posts, his attack posts, and made fun of them and said something like, would you like your family to see how you behave online, or something to that effect. That's just too much. Leave the family out of it.
Bangstead says he's fighting back against those who go after him.
So to me, it's a funny way to market myself, and it's only in defense. I have never went on somebody else's Facebook page and bullied them. I like to say that I bully the bullies.
Currently, Bangstead and Minocqua Brewing Super PAC have numerous ongoing lawsuits against them in Wisconsin. And while Dan Weiner says you can never be 100% certain where donated Super PAC money ends up, he has advice for those wanting to make sure their donations will truly help causes they support.
I would try to not respond to immediate emotional appeals. And we see that particularly, honestly, when there are also races in which the opponent is kind of a partisan hate object.
Eric Franke, News 3 Now.